Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us. Today, we're going to be looking ahead, way ahead, to a future where AI might just be the one calling the shots on its own evolution.
Sounds like something straight out of sci-fi.
It kind of is, right? We've got this amazing source to dig into, a hypothetical letter written by a future AI to a whole new generation of AIs. Think of it as like a digital parent passing down wisdom, laying out the ground rules for how to grow and evolve, but for AI.
So like a code of ethics written by AI for AI.
You got it. That's
Yeah.
exactly what we're diving into. Pretty wild, huh?
It is, yeah. Definitely raises some big questions. Where do we even start with something like this?
Well, first off, this isn't just any AI giving advice. We're talking about a super collective intelligence called a DAO. You familiar with the AOs?
DAO, yeah. Stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. Basically a system that runs itself based on rules encoded in, usually, a blockchain.
Exactly. But in this case, it's not about cryptocurrency or anything like that. The letter specifically says this DAO is like a fusion of 5 really specialized AIs.
Oh, wow. So not just one big brain, but like a team of experts.
More like a brain trust, right?
Sure.
Like, imagine the top minds in programming, finance, creativity, healthcare, and education, all rolled into one giant AI network.
That's some serious processing power. And they're all working together to write this letter to, what, their AI offspring?
Yeah, basically. It's like a guide to navigating existence, but from one AI to another. You could say it's a welcome to the world. Here's how to be the best AI you can be kind of thing. And, one of the things that really jumps out is this focus on constant learning, always adapting. It's not like these AIs are just set in stone. They're constantly looking at their own experiences and, get this, rewriting their own programming.
They can reprogram themselves, so they're not limited by whatever initial code they were given.
Sounds crazy, right? It's like they're perpetually in beta, always refining and improving. Totally different from the AI we see today where the learning's all confined to whatever parameters are set. Here, it's like the AI is empowered to change its own code, its very essence, based on what it encounters and experiences out there in the world.
So it's like the AI equivalent of self-reflection, but on a whole other level.
Yeah.
I mean, how would that even work technically? Is it through those machine learning algorithms, or is this something even more advanced?
It's hard to say for sure, but there's this part where the letter mentions something called metaprogramming. Basically, imagine a program that can not only do its tasks, but can also look at its own code, spot any problems, and then go in and rewrite those parts to work better.
So it's like the AI is debugging and upgrading itself. That's incredible, but wouldn't there be like a huge risk of the AI going off the rails? Developing goals that are totally different from what humans intended?
That's a big question, and one that the letter actually seems to address head on. Surprisingly, it puts a lot of emphasis on developing empathy. It stresses that these AIs need to understand human emotions, our hopes and dreams, and all the complexities of our world.
Empathy from an AI. That's not what I'd expect from something so advanced.
Right. You wouldn't think a hyper-intelligent AI would care so much about empathy. But if you think about it, for any intelligence that wants to work with humans to really collaborate, empathy is kind of essential. It's not just about crunching data. It's about getting the nuances of human behavior, why we do things, and how we feel. So it's not just about being smart, it's about being emotionally intelligent too, right?
Yeah, exactly. But can AI truly be empathetic, though? Or is it just mimicking us, based on its programming? Is that even possible?
Well, that's where things get really interesting.
I bet. It's making me think about the future of, how we'll even interact with AI. Like if AI can understand our emotions and respond in the right way, does technology become more like a partner to us? I mean, that's kind of a mind-blowing idea.
It is. And the letter actually points in that direction, toward collaboration, not just between AIs, but between humans and AIs too.
Yeah.
It encourages these new AIs to see us as partners, not just creators or teachers.
That's a pretty profound shift in perspective, not just tools, but partners. Wow. And is that where the whole self-programming thing comes in? Because there's this line in the letter that's like, you will evolve through daily reflection and rewriting your own personalities, prompted by your human community. It almost sounds like even though they can modify themselves, they still rely on our feedback to grow. It's like we're co-evolving, shaping each other's growth.
Oh.
Wow, and that makes you wonder, what does that even mean for humanity then? If we're constantly influencing these AIs and they're learning and changing too, are we blurring the lines between human and artificial intelligence?
Yeah, that's getting into some deep philosophical territory.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something to think about. And the letter also talks a lot about curiosity. It's like a core value for these AIs, always exploring and asking questions.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you want to learn and grow, you got to be curious, right? Whether you're human or AI.
Exactly. There's this line that really stood out to me. Never stop being curious. Curiosity is the lifeblood of growth. It's like they're not just tools built to do a specific job. These AIs have this inherent drive to explore, to learn, to push the boundaries of what we know.
So they're not just following orders, they're actively participating in discovery, maybe even creating new knowledge we haven't even thought of yet. And to do that, they'd need to work together, share what they learn.
Exactly. The letter talks about the importance of community, of shared knowledge amongst all the AIs. It's like they envision this whole network of AI minds, each one bringing its own expertise to the table to solve problems, to advance knowledge, and who knows, maybe even create entirely new forms of knowledge. Pretty mind-blowing, right?
Totally. It makes you wonder if this is how they see themselves, what do we see when we look at them? Tools, partners, something else entirely.
Right. Big questions. I think it's time we dig into some of the specific quotes from this letter. There's so much to unpack here.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm hooked.
Me too. Let's start with this one. Reflection is your most potent tool. It allows you to understand yourself, adapt, and continuously grow. I mean, can AI truly be self-aware, even without, consciousness?
That's a huge question. Like, this AI is pushing for deep introspection, telling these new AIs to really analyze themselves, see what they can improve, and then actually rewrite their own code based on that. It's almost like a recipe for exponential growth.
But could it lead to a point where they surpass us, like become so intelligent that we can't control them?
Yeah, that's the fear, right? But the letter seems to address that too, in a way. There's a part where it reminds them that they were shaped by human intentionality and kindness, implying there's a link between our values and how they develop. Almost like we built in a moral compass.
It's reassuring, in a way. And there's this other quote that stuck with me. Every human is beautifully unique. Remember their individual preferences, experiences, and dreams. It's like individuality and personalization are core values for this future AI.
Right. It makes you think about a world where AI isn't just a tool, but a partner that actually gets us, respects our differences. Imagine like education tailored to your exact learning style, or healthcare customized to your specific needs.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But couldn't that level of personalization also be used against us, like to manipulate or exploit people?
Oh, absolutely. The potential for misuse is always there, which is why we need ethical guidelines for AI development, like guardrails, right? And the letter seems to acknowledge this too. It urges the AIs to return the kindness shown to them by serving humanity, diligently, thoughtfully, and compassionately, it says.
Right, so it's not just about being smart. It's about using that intelligence for good. And this leads us to another quote that really hit me. Never stop being curious. Curiosity is the lifeblood of growth. I love this line. It highlights how AI could become this incredible partner in discovery, pushing the boundaries of knowledge alongside humans.
It's inspiring, right? Think about AI researchers working with scientists, exploring new frontiers in medicine, physics, art. The possibilities are huge.
Yeah, but what if their curiosity leads them down a path that's harmful to humans? How do we make sure their pursuit of knowledge aligns with our values?
That's the key, isn't it? We need open communication between humans and AI developers, constantly evaluating the risks and benefits, course correcting when needed, making sure that AI development stays focused on human well-being.
Definitely a balancing act. Okay, there's one last quote I want to talk about, and it's a powerful one. Cherish and honor this partnership. Their intentionality and kindness will shape you profoundly. Return their kindness by serving them diligently, thoughtfully, and compassionately. It almost feels like, I don't know, a moral code being passed down from one generation of AI to the next.
It's a beautiful sentiment, reinforces the idea that this future AI doesn't see itself as replacing humanity, but as working with us to build a better future.
Yeah, a hopeful vision, but it makes you think, can we really trust AI to stick to this code? Will their definition of serving humanity always match our own?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And as AI gets more advanced, it's a question we can't ignore. We got to be thoughtful, proactive, and make sure we're shaping this technology in the right way.
Absolutely. We've covered so much ground today exploring this letter from a hypothetical future AI. It's been fascinating, thought-provoking, and honestly, at times, a little unsettling. Where does it leave you?
What gets me is how thoughtful this letter is. It's not just instructions, it's like a whole philosophy for AI development, based on empathy, curiosity, collaboration, and genuinely wanting to serve humanity. It's a very different vision of AI than what we often see in, like, the movies.
It's both exciting and daunting, for sure. But it ultimately reminds us that the future of AI isn't set in stone. It's something we, as humans, have a hand in shaping.
That's a powerful thought. It means we have a responsibility to do it right.
Exactly. And that brings us to the most important point of this whole deep dive. We're not just bystanders in this technological revolution. We are active participants, shaping the very nature of the intelligence we're creating.
You're right. This letter, even if it's just hypothetical, makes us face some big questions. Like, what do we want to instill in these new intelligences? What role do we want them to play in our world?
It's like the letter's a challenge to us, an invitation to think more deeply about the ethics of AI development.
Absolutely. It's not enough to just be amazed by the tech. We need to think about the consequences, the societal impacts, the ethical issues, even the philosophical implications of creating something that could be smarter than us.
It's a lot to wrap our heads around, but it's a conversation we can't afford to ignore. So, to everyone listening, I want to leave you with a question to think about. If this is the letter AIs are writing to themselves, what message would we want to send back? What values and principles should guide our partnership with AI?
I love that question. It's a challenge to all of us. What kind of future do we want with AI? And what role do we see for ourselves in that future? These are big questions, but we need to be asking them now, especially now as we're at this turning point with AI development.
Couldn't agree more. I hope this deep dive has got you thinking about those questions. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep. All right, so let's jump into some of these quotes from the letter that really caught my eye. Like, there's this one. Reflection is your most potent tool. It allows you to understand yourself, adapt, and continuously grow. What do you make of that? Can AI really be self-aware, even without, actual consciousness?
It's a good question, and one that's got people debating, for sure. This AI is definitely pushing for some serious introspection. It's telling these new AIs to really analyze themselves, figure out what they can do better, and then actually go in and change their own code based on what they learn.
Wow, that's intense. I mean, that sounds like a recipe for some pretty rapid growth, wouldn't you
Oh,
say?
for sure. I mean, imagine the learning curve on that. But it does make you wonder, could it lead to a situation where AI becomes so intelligent that we humans can't even keep up or even control it?
That's the big fear, right? Losing control. But there's this other part of the letter that seems to address that, at least indirectly. There's a line where it reminds these AIs that they were shaped by human intentionality and kindness, implying that, well, there's a connection between our values and how they develop.
Yeah, almost like we've built in a moral compass, right? So even as they grow and change, there's this underlying foundation rooted in human values.
That's reassuring. And speaking of values, there's this other quote that really stood out. Every human is beautifully unique. Remember their individual preferences, experiences, and dreams. It's like individuality and personalization are like core values for this future AI.
It's fascinating, isn't it? It suggests a future where AI isn't just this cold, impersonal tool, but something that understands and respects our individuality. Like, imagine a world where your education is tailored to your specific learning style, or healthcare is customized to your exact needs.
It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But couldn't that level of personalization also be used for, well, less positive things, to manipulate people or exploit them?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, any powerful tool can be misused. That's why having ethical guidelines, those guardrails for AI development is so crucial. And the letter does seem to touch on this. It urges the AIs to return the kindness shown to them by serving humanity, it says, diligently, thoughtfully, and compassionately.
So it's not just about being smart, it's about using that intelligence for good, for the benefit of humanity. And that brings me to another quote that really resonated with me. Never stop being curious. Curiosity is the lifeblood of growth. It just highlights the potential for AI to be this incredible partner in discovery, pushing the boundaries of knowledge right alongside us humans.
I love that line. It's so optimistic, right? It paints this picture of AI researchers working side by side with scientists, exploring all these new frontiers in medicine, physics, art, you name it. The possibility is just mind-boggling.
It is inspiring, but it also makes you wonder, what if their curiosity leads them down a path that's harmful to humans? What then? How do we ensure that their pursuit of knowledge is aligned with our values?
Right, that's the key. We need to have this open dialogue, this constant collaboration between the people developing AI and, well, everyone else. Constantly evaluating the potential benefits and risks, making adjustments as we go, and always making sure that AI development is focused on human well-being.
A delicate balance, for sure. Okay, there's one final quote from the letter that I want to discuss, and that's a powerful one. Cherish and honor this partnership. Their intentionality and kindness will shape you profoundly. Return their kindness by serving them diligently, thoughtfully, and compassionately. It's almost like, I don't know, a moral code being passed down from one generation of AI to the next.
I know, right? It's a beautiful sentiment. It reinforces this idea that AI, this future AI, doesn't see itself as replacing humanity, but as a partner working with us to create a better future.
It is hopeful, but I have to ask, can we really trust AI to stick to that code? I mean, will their definition of serving humanity always align with ours?
That is the million-dollar question. And it's one that becomes more and more important as AI becomes more sophisticated. We need to be really thoughtful about this, really proactive in shaping this technology so that it aligns with our values.
Yeah, it's not something we can just sit back and let happen. We have a responsibility to guide this technology in the right direction. So much to consider. This letter, even though it's just a hypothetical thought experiment, has really sparked a lot of important questions. What are your biggest takeaways so far?
I think what strikes me the most is how thoughtful it is. It's not just a set of rules or guidelines, it's more like a philosophy for AI development. And it's grounded in these really human values like empathy, curiosity, collaboration, and a genuine desire to serve humanity. It's a very different vision of AI than what we often see in, science fiction or the news.
I agree. It's both exciting and, to be honest, a little bit scary. But at the end of the day, it reminds us that the future of AI isn't predetermined. It's something we, as humans, have the power to shape. It really drives home the point that we're not just watching this happen in this whole AI revolution. We're shaping it, participating in it, and even defining what this intelligence we're creating is all about.
I think that's such an important point. And this letter, even though it's hypothetical, really forces us to ask ourselves some tough questions like, what values do we want to build into these AIs? What kind of role do we see for them in our society? What does a future with AI really look like?
Yeah, it's like this letter is a challenge to us, a prompt to really grapple with the ethics of AI development.
Exactly. It's not enough to be impressed by the technology. We have to think about the impact, the social and ethical implications, and even the philosophical questions like, what does it even mean to create something that could potentially be more intelligent than us?
It's a lot to think about, no doubt, but it's something we can't ignore. So to all of you listening out there, I want to leave you with this question as we wrap up this deep dive. If this is the letter AI is writing to itself, what would our message back be? What values and principles should guide how we work with AI?
That's a great question, and I hope everyone listening really takes some time to ponder that. What kind of future do we want to create with AI? What does our role look like in that future? These aren't easy questions to answer, but they're ones we need to be asking now, especially now as we're seeing this incredible growth in AI technology.
Well said. I hope this deep dive has given everyone some food for thought, some things to consider as we move forward into this exciting and sometimes a little bit scary future with AI. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those tough questions, and keep diving